Welcome back to the Arch Plays
Hey,
with Starbuck Ransom.
and now a vampire.
You hate horror movies generally, right?
I don't hate them, I just don't want to watch them because I don't like being scared.
Um, so what about movies that are not scary, but that are, you know, horror movie-ish,
What do you mean?
where horror type things happen?
I think you're trying to draw upon some knowledge of horror movies that I just don't have.
All right. Like you liked Alien, right?
Yeah.
Would you call that a horror movie?
Not really. More adventure, like action adventure.
Okay, because that means that your definition of a horror movie is specifically a scary movie, which is different than what people mean when they say horror. The characters are afraid, and one of the things that it's meant to do is create like tense atmosphere, maybe actual fear, maybe not. Because there are definitely horror movies that, I guess, whether you consider something to be scary or not is going to depend on you, because some people are just not scared by certain things.
Yeah.
I know that Gears of War ruined all horror games for me forever.
Why is that? Oh, come
Because it had kind of elements of a horror aesthetic, but it conditioned in me the soldier response of just shoot it. Anything scary can be met with violence successfully. So, games that are scary, no longer a thing for me. Like, I can appreciate them, I just can't engage with the actual horror because fear is now off the table as a possible reaction to horror games that I can have. This is very closely related to... Wow, that is a terrible place to put that camera.
on. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, I guess if your idea of horror is are the characters afraid, then yeah, I guess Alien is horror.
Alien is not just horror, it's considered one of the greatest horror movies of all time.
Really?
Same with John Carpenter's The Thing.
Yeah, that's fair, that's fair. Oh, did I learn anything? I guess not! Yeah, I just didn't have the right definition of what horror is.
So with that in mind, you don't like being scared, but you do like some horror movies?
Psychological horror, I guess, I like. What? Even? What? Okay.
What was the first scary movie you ever saw?
I cannot remember.
Do you remember ever being scared by a movie?
Yes. Titanic.
Interesting. I wouldn't have thought of Titanic as a horror movie.
Well, it's technically not a horror movie, but it scared the crap out of me. Mainly because I was young when I watched it for the first time.
For me, it was definitely Alien 2, which I saw when I was like 4.
Yeah, no, I'm like... I really didn't watch horror movies growing up much. Like, Nick was the one who introduced me more to horror films. And I wasn't too into it. Like, I let him and my sister have, they have their horror movie, like, running through all the Nightmare on Elm Street things on their own. I didn't want to join them.
Nightmare on Elm Street is an interesting example because I definitely consider them a horror movie, but I would only consider those to be scary if you're like 10. They definitely are, like, there's some psychological stuff that can get under your skin. Like, there's a character who was dealing with addiction that they, like, the way that Freddy Krueger got to that person was, like, through an addiction nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the main reasons why I wouldn't want to watch Nightmare on Elm Street, just, seeing people like suffer in very personal ways. Oh, what?
What I would worry about would be, like, being closed off to that aspect of, like, human nature.
What do you mean?
Because...
Seriously? Ah! Yeah, you're gonna play this. I just suck today.
Because that basically means that film that you watch is not allowed to explore those issues. Or angles or feelings or...
I don't think that's a very fair... Like, technically yes, but... I really don't think that's a necessarily...
You don't want to see it from that angle.
No, it's not that, but I don't think that's really fair. That's basically telling someone that, certain feelings will come of watching a suicide movie, but you should watch it anyways because you're just closing yourself off of it.
Generally speaking, somebody who has a problem with suicide in a movie has had enough of that in their regular life. Is that your line?
It's more like... When I look into a dark corridor, I don't want to be scared or, like, imagine monsters, like, on the other side or something.
Yeah, that's fair. You can't actually, like... It would be very tempting to dismiss that as, like, a baby concern, but... Nah, you can't control what your lower brain does with your fear response because it is happening underneath the conscious level. Mm-hmm. You cannot shut it off no matter what you do. And so if you know that your brain latches onto that kind of stuff, then that's just what you're stuck with.
Yeah, and I know my brain will do exactly that because I can't remember if it was after watching a particular movie, but I didn't used to, but at one point, like at my last job, I'd look down the basement stairs, and because it's a basement, there's no windows. It was just pitch black. I'd just be like, oh, there's something in there.
I like that I can just plow over stuff like that. Yeah, okay, so the horror movies as a subject is kind of dead now. Since I'm playing right now, I can't look at my notebook to see what the other subjects that I had written down were, so you give us a topic.
Well, we should take a pause while we change the episode.
I feel like we just changed the episode, but yeah.